Hometown Brew, coming at you with a beer review on a beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon in September. We've got one that came to me by ManBearPig, 1122334455, who's also a beer reviewer, my nephew. It's the Stone Vertical Epic 111111, and this is one that was aged in red wine barrels. They also did a version in white wine barrels. This goes back to early 2013 that this was, I think, bottled and sent my way. It was brewed with cinnamon sticks and Anaheim green chilies. Now that's the 111111, and this particular bottle then was aged in the red wine barrels. It's a Belgian strong ale. Some refer to it as a chili beer, and it's a big 10.6% ABV. So let's get it cracked open. Well, I got a nice pop off of that, and check it out. We've actually got like just about a 2-finger head on there, which is quite something. It's a hazy beer, and but it's an interesting color. It's not really amber. It's more like a reddish brown, not quite ruby, but definitely reddish brown. Lighter on the bottom, of course, where it's thinner. And it's kind of a yellow to tan head on there. So let's get the nose. Wow, yeah, this is a strong ale. Belgian strong's fine to say, but man, that aroma. Oh, that's something. You know, you get a little bit of that cinnamon, but you definitely get the red wine coming through. You do get the alcohol on it, but it's got a beautiful red viniousness to it. You almost get like some spiciness and some berries on this, and raisins on it, and Belgian yeast, but I'm also getting some other kind of fruit. Maybe it's those berries. It's like I'm getting some cranberry on this almost. Yeah, it's almost like a, no, it's cherries. It's the, when you get dried cherries, it's like a dried cherry type of aroma. We've got those in the house, and it's got some nice caramel backbone going on too. Yeah, those dried fruits, particularly cherries and the raisins, are just beautiful on it. I'm not really getting any of the chilies. Chilies can fade out or bring in some, odd vegetable taste sometimes, especially with age. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to dive in. Cheers. Oh. At first, it's a nice coating, medium body. It's just really coated the mouth really well, and that raisin and caramel is probably the biggest impression. Yeah, the dried fruits, particularly the dried cherry flavor, is, at least at this point in it, is just right on. It's just there. A little bit of that Belgian influence on the yeast is nice. Now finally, on the back side, I'm getting these light bitter, earthy, and slightly vegetable tones that are telling me that this had those Anaheim green chilies in it at one time. No heat though whatsoever. Just these beautiful, beautiful caramel tones. Just the lightest hint of the cinnamon on it. You get a little bit of light tannins coming from the oak off the red wine barrel. And you do get that viniousness coming through along with the oak. I almost feel like I get some chewy red grape skins on there, It reminds me of a very, to a degree, like a very fresh, they had what they call cluster wines, and it's just the way that they make it. You get a lot more of the grape skins on there, and I feel like I get that. Oh, this is fun, but it's a big old beer. I feel like I get just a little bit of some brown sugar along with the caramel. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm going to take a little time with this, and I'll be back. Okay, I've taken a good bit of time with this as I've been messaging with a few of my good friends. Special hello to Gary, Mary, Stephen, and Josh, Christian, and others. Cheers. Josh wants to know how this is drinking, and I've got to say it's drinking really good. It's amazing. It's with all this time, and we got 3.5 years on this. It is big. It is bold. I mean, the flavors on this are wonderful. I've described it earlier. I don't need to repeat it all. Just a hint of the chilies come through at points, but they're really taking an earthy back note at this point. And almost, I want to say, like this grapevine flavor. You know, these beautiful, sweet, bright, berry-ish type flavors of going through, caramel, the light tannins coming from the wood, and the red wine is just beautiful on this with age. I'm sure it would have been really fun fresh, but I'll tell you what, it's just absolutely delightful aged. In terms of a Belgian strong, it's delightful. You know, I think of some slightly different things when I think of Belgian strong. I would just call this a strong ale in general, but I am thoroughly digging on it. I don't really care what anyone else thinks. I'm just digging on it. It's a 94 in terms of strong ales. Overall, not far from that same mark. I'm going to give it a 93 overall. This is an excellent beer. It's well crafted. A lot going on. The complexity is just beautiful. Here it is again. It's the Vertical Epic 11-11-11 that's been red wine barrel aged by Stone Brewing out of Escondido, California. This is a beautiful beer. This is one that if you can find on a shelf still, I'd say grab it or borrow it from your neighbor's cellar. Ha! This is Kevin at Clemens Homebrew saying life is too short to drink cheap beer, and I will see you in the next beer review.